let me share you some more shocking things that you perhaps didn't know. Do you know that Rand? You know Rand, right? Everyone has heard of Rand at this point. I talk about it at various points. But they have this civil democratic Islam essay. And people think Rand is just some random group. No, Rand is the official think tank of the U.S. government. Rand is the official think tank of the U.S. government. They advise the U.S. military. They advise the U.S. foreign policy. This is not a group of Joe Schmoes that are just saying whatever. They're at the highest levels of influence with the federal government in the United States, directing global policy. That is what Rand is. So when Rand says that they have a plot to liberalize the Muslim community, you need to take it seriously. You need to read very carefully their report. And you go to their report, Civil Democratic Islam. Download the PDF. Just Google it right now. Download the PDF and do a search, and you can read the quote for yourself. It's a free PDF. It's the first Google result. And this is what Rand says. This is their strategy to destroy fundamentalist Islam, quote unquote fundamentalist. And remember, they define fundamentalist Islam as political Islam. If you want Islam to be a part of the government, you want Islam to be pan-Islamist, Muslim countries coming together specifically for unity, but also for countering the US and Israel, then you're a fundamentalist. So even someone who might be liberal in other ways, they can still be a fundamentalist if they support Palestine against Israel. And they want, Islamic government. Ikhwan al-Muslimin, for example, the Ikhwan, the Muslim Brotherhood, they're Islamists. Why? Because they're pro-Palestinian and they want Islamic government. They just want Islam to have some influence on the government. From our perspective as Orthodox Muslims, Ikhwan al-Muslimin is very liberal. They have a lot of very liberal views. Why? Because their doctrine is wasatiyah. They believe in reforming Islam in accordance with liberal norms. So you can call them like cuck-servatives. They're the cuck-servatives. And if you don't know what wasatiyah is, go to that episode where we do a full analysis for 5 hours of wasatiyah. With regard to Yasser Qadi and Hatem al-Hajj. That was 10 episodes ago, I think. I'm not sure. But you'll find it on the playlist, channel playlist. Anyway, so this is what Rand says. Go on the offensive against fundamentalists. We have to go. The U.S. government has to go after fundamentalists. How? Delegitimize individuals and positions associated with extremist Islam. Make public the immoral and hypocritical deeds and statements of self-styled fundamentalist authorities. Okay, immoral and hypocritical. Allegations of Western immorality and shallowness are a cherished part of the fundamentalist arsenal, but they are themselves highly vulnerable on these fronts. Encourage Arab journalists in popular media to do investigative reporting on the lives and personal habits and corruption of fundamentalist leaders. Did you see that? Go into their personal lives, investigate, bring out the dirt. Bring out the dirt with these scandals. Show that the fundamentalists, they're actually hypocrites. Why? Then you delegitimize all of these imams. You delegitimize. Why? Because if one is doing it, they're all doing it, right? If one of them is doing it, they're all doing it, right? And this is what you see in the comment section. This is what you see maybe even in the chat right now. If one of them is doing it, they're all doing it. This is how you delegitimize and destroy the credibility of religious scholars across the board and the fundamentalists. Rand, the think tank of the U.S. government, recognizes that. They understand how it works. And by the way, this is what the munafiqun understood in the case of Aisha radiallahu anha. The munafiqun, in the case of Ifk, knew that if we discredit the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam by saying immorality is present in his family, in his closest circle, then how credible is he? How credible is he as a prophet? That was their plan. That was part of the plan. And obviously not everyone who was involved with that was a munafiq, because some of the Sahaba made a genuine mistake. And that is why that nuance is found in the ayat that we read from Surah An-Nur. Some of them, and others of them, they had different intention and they get the severe punishment. But others just made a mistake. But the point is that this is a tale as old as time. Rand didn't invent this strategy. This was a strategy invented in the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And it's also prior to Islam, because look at the way that Christians and Jews think about their prophets and how they're described in the Bible. They accuse their prophets of all kinds of indecency. They accuse their prophets of drunken incest. Is it not the case? They accuse their prophets of drunken incest and adultery. They accuse Dawood of adultery in the Bible. They accuse Dawood alayhi salam of killing a soldier because he wanted to be with his wife. Not killing him directly, but sending him off to battle, to die in battle, so because he specifically wanted to take his wife. They accuse Suleiman of adultery, specifically because or in the immorality of building pagan temples because he wanted pagan women. This is what they accuse Suleiman alayhi salam of. So they're slandering all the prophets with these gross lies. These gross lies. This is something that they do. Why? They want to spread fahisha. They want to normalize fahisha. They want to change norm perception psychologically. This is a tale as old as time. And you're not convinced? You're not convinced that they have this plot? Maybe. Maybe you think I'm just making stuff up. What about this? Top secret document reveals the NSA, which is the National Security Agency, I believe it's one of the highest level intelligence agencies within the US government, right up there with the CIA, spied on porn habits as part of a plan to discredit radicalizers. So they want to spy on people and spread accusations against fundamentalist leaders to discredit them and to discredit Islam. Fundamentalist Islam. This is their plan. And this was a leaked document. I believe it was WikiLeaks. And it's reported. This is from 2013. This is a report, I believe, that came out with WikiLeaks. This is a part of their plan. And you can read this. You can see screenshots of the documentation. So do you think that they're going to... What's going to stop them from even making up accusations? What's going to stop them from creating these accusations? Or creating... And now with AI, you can... Very high advanced AI, you can create a lot of false documentation, false images, false videos now. Look at the publicly available AI. Now we're at the point where it's hard to tell what's real and what's not. So imagine what they have within these government agencies, the kind of technology that they have there. So they can spread these accusations and discredit all of these imams, all of the Palestinian leadership. Actually, they do that. They do that for the Palestinian leadership. They say, oh, did you know Fulan, who is a part of Hamas, for example, was doing this privately? Here. These are the chats. This is the web history. Oh, here are some images. Don't you think that that's what they would do? They're doing it. They're doing it. So this becomes a weapon against the believers, against the ummah, and it's a tale as old as time. The Bible attests to it, that they did that with their prophets, and the munafiqun tried to do it with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, with a scandal in creating a scandal for his family, and they continue to do that work today. And it's the same groups. You have the kuffar and you have the munafiqun, both trying to do the same work, spreading fawahish, spreading fahisha.